Your lesson essential question is, how do we show measurements on a line plot? So you're going to be looking at different measurements and plotting them on a specific graph called a line plot. A line plot is a number line. The data is recorded above the numbers to show how many of something. Julio is measuring some lengths of yarn in inches. How can he use a ruler to measure to the nearest half inch? The distance between each whole number on the ruler is 1 inch. So from 0 to 1 is 1 inch. From 1 to 2 is 1 inch. From 2 to 3 is 1 inch. Each tick mark shows ½ inch. So you can think of each hole as 2 ½ inches. So you can see in between 0 and 1 is a ½ inch mark. Between 1 and 2, there's another ½ inch mark. In between 2 and 3, there's another one. The fifth 1/2 inch tick mark is closest to the end of the length of yarn. That's this one right here. So the nearest ½ inch the yarn measures is 5½ inches. The length is 2 whole inches and 1/2 inch. You can write this length as 2½ inches. Take a look at it. First of all, we want to make sure when we're measuring anything, we start at the 0. We pass by the first inch and the second inch, and then you can see the yarn goes to the ½ inch between the 2 and the 3. So again, 2 and 1/2 inches. Julio measured 9 other lengths of yarn in inches. Then he recorded the data in a line plot. So here's his line plot. For every piece of yarn and how long it was, he marked it on the line plot. So for 2½ inches, he had this one right here, so he put 1 dot. 3 inches, he had 1, 2, 3. So he marked 3 dots. 3½ inches, 1, 2, 3, 4. He marked 1, 2, 3, 4 dots, and 2 pieces were 4 inches. So he marked 2 dots. When you're making a line plot, you want to make sure you follow these steps. First, you draw your number line. You want to show a scale based on your data. So Julio did not have to draw 1 on his line plot or 0 because he didn't have any pieces of yarn that were 0 or 1 inch. Write a title for the line plot. He called his title lengths of yarn because that's what he was collecting data for. Mark a dot for each data value. You've used number lines to show fractions. A line plot is a way to organize data on a number line. I bet you didn't know number lines could be used for so many things. Let's try number 5 together. Measure the lengths of the pieces of yarn at the right to the nearest ½ inch. Write the length for each piece. I want you to notice that all of them start at the 0. When you're measuring, you always want to start at the 0. This one is about 3½ inches. This one is about 2½ inches. This one is about 3 inches. The next one again is about 3½. This one is about 2. And this one's about 2½. Our next step is to draw a line to represent another length of yarn. Measure your line to the nearest ½ inch. So I'm going to make sure that I'm starting at the 0. And I'm going to make this one about 2 inches. Now we need to make a line plot to show the measurements of yarn. Here's my line. I want to find the smallest number, and it looks like it's 2. 2 is our smallest. Then we have 2.5. We also have 3 and 3.5. Now let's record our data. I'm looking for pieces of yarn that are 2 inches. We have 1, 2 pieces. So I'm going to make 2 marks above the 2. Now let's look for 2.5 inch pieces. 1, 2. Now we'll look for 3 inch pieces. There's only 1. 3.5, there's 2. So there's your line plot. You're going to practice making line plots today.